In this video, guys, I'm going to talk about one that's pretty close to my heart, and that is overconfidence is a big chink in your trading armor. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. So why do I say that this is close to my heart? Because you know what, in my first few years, I'm going to probably say 5 years, maybe even 6, maybe even 7 actually, if I'm honest, I was way too overconfident in my ability as a trader. I'd had a bit of trading success. I was running quite nicely. I was doing okay, doing way better than many other people, and I think a little bit overconfidence started to creep in. And what I want to do in this video, guys, is kind of highlight the short-term overconfidence problem, long-term overconfidence problem, show you how overconfidence kind of can really envelop the whole of your trading if you're not careful, and to also highlight who potentially is to watch out for overconfidence. So there's a short-term kind of problem with overconfidence, and I think I've probably said this a few times. You guys are subscribers, you've known me talk about this before, and you know, if you're overconfident about your ability to read the market, it's going to lead to many things that really aren't conducive for long-term trading success, unless you're good, you kind of grab a hold of it and go, you know, this needs to be sorted out. Stop being so overconfident. Stop this. Stop being so cocky about it, and regroup, because you're never going to get to an elevated level if you're carrying on trading like this. So first one is overtrading. You know, if you believe that you've got a handle on every single market move, you're going to think that's a long, that you're going to trade. That's a short, you're going to trade. You're going to put your prediction onto the market, and you're going to put money at stake, at risk, should I say. And you know what's going to happen, you haven't got a trading edge with that, you ended up losing money. So that's going to be negative expectancy in the long run, because you're over trading, because you're overconfident in your ability to read the market under all conditions. And actually, one of the things I talk about is, you know, there's certain conditions, and actually it does stem from this, stems from over trading, overconfidence, and my journey with this is that, hey, you know, under certain conditions, the market can be predicted, or can be, we don't have 100% certainty, but it's easier to predict. On other conditions, it's not. And I came to that conclusion. Listen, you know, that's the way it is. There are certain things that work well and they're easier to predict than there are every other time. And if you think you can predict every single ebb and flow and move, then you're stepping into this overconfidence zone, and you're going to get a smack around the face by the market. And that's exactly what happens. So overtrading. Another one is holding a position too long. Never really something for me, but I know a lot of traders who this is bad for, and I know a few traders who've a couple of positions have really hurt them. So it's the same kind of things, overconfident in the position, saying, yeah, this position will come back, it's going to be good, it's going to be fine. And there's a fine line, you know, it's conviction, overconfidence. You know, it's you know, it's like cockiness, confidence thing out. If you're out and about in a bar, for example, or whatever, and you're kind of chatting up a female or chatting up a male, whichever side of the coin you're looking at, you know, confidence, cockiness, arrogance, you get the point. There's that fine line, and there's a little bit of a danger zone there. So it's a little bit, from a trading perspective, as well, holding a position too long. I've got conviction in the trade, but also when it gets to a point where, hey, it's not working anymore, you've got to be humble enough to cut it and go, you know what, I'm out of the game. I don't want to be trading that trade anymore. Unlike some people I know who have unfortunately held positions for, people have held day trades, and they've turned into trade that they've held for months and months and months. And no matter what you say to them about it, say, well, you went into it as a day trade. It was like an afternoon trend trade, and you're still in it. And then they start to justify why the trade's going to work. And yeah, but you can give me all the arguments you want for that, and they're all valid arguments, but it comes back to the point was, you didn't go into this trade holding it for multi-months. You're now down several $100,000 on it. You did not expect to do that. You're not going to tell me you went into that trade expecting to risk 220 grand on it. No, you're not. You went into it risking 3 or whatever it was. So anyway, glad to buy. That's a little bit of a story. Holding position too long, big thinker, overconfidence. Okay, another one is not admitting error. Same kind of thing, guys, with the short-term thing. You're not admitting when you've made errors in your market calls, not necessarily holding the position or in a trade, but let's say you had a few losing trades. You're not taking it as you're taking it as the market. So it's not me, I'm fine, I'm a good trader. It's the market this, it's the market that. And well, it may be the market conditions have changed, yes, but it's your ability to adapt to it or pull back. You don't have to necessarily trade if the conditions aren't conducive to your style of trading, right? We've talked about that loads of times. So you can step back. It's still you. You've got to take extreme ownership for this kind of thing, to quote Jocko Willink. And the last one is position sizing. Big one for me, this. Position sizing, overconfident in the position, think this is a great position, and starting to put all the chips on the table, or way too many chips on the table for something that really isn't that good of a setup. You're just overconfident in your ability to predict the market. And again, not kind of overplaying this, but going back to that trade section that and we've kind of lots of comments about that, comes exactly from this. There's got to be a reason to go in bigger on a trade, and so that grading is understanding how you decide to go in bigger. And again, this comes back from me making errors of just piling stuff in, going in really big positions on something that, we look back on it like, well, why? Well, overconfidence crept in. Okay, well, let's have a system. Let's have understanding why. At what point do we want to start pushing a bit more onto the table to get those kind of extra squeezes higher in our account equity curve? And that's what the grading trade section is all about on that one. So that's position sizing. Right, moving over to long term, guys. View of trading skill. So this is kind of, if we're looking at it from a broad perspective, overconfidence, you go, yeah, you know what, I'm a good trader, I'm doing fine, and you kind of just elevate yourself and believe you're a better trader than you really are. And you know what, this is a big pivot point for a lot of people. A lot of people, when they go, you know what, at the moment, I'm not that great. Okay, let me just kind of backtrack a little bit here. A lot of people are anchoring their success to P&L too early on. And I've done a whole video about this before, but I'm making no excuse for kind of going down this little rabbit hole now for a few minutes. They will anchor their success to P&L way too early. You've got two traders, both losing traders, but one is way more likely to kind of keep going and pursue a trading longer term and actually get over that P&L thing and start to develop some profits and start to see that account equity curve on the correct trajectory than somebody else. And so anchoring, if they're anchoring both to they're losing or profitable, then they're both in the same group. But some guy might be so disciplined, he's focused, he's doing the right things, he's putting the time and effort in, he's studying, he's improving and all that, which is kind of what I think a lot of you guys on the channel are. Subscribers are you're working your way up. Some of you are kind of making good profits already. Some of you are kind of almost into that profitability section, but you're there, you're doing the right stuff, you're grinding, you'll keep moving forward. Whereas the other guys who are there and they're just kind of punting here and there, they're coming in, they're not caring, they're not taking it seriously. Yes, both people may well be losing or not making much or whatever, but the point is, it's so different characters in trading. So anchoring your trading to your P&L or your profitability is such a dangerous thing to do early on. And I know that's how we keep score effectively, but it's a challenging thing. So view of trading skill. You've got to watch out for that one. If you think you're some sort of super trader early on, and you're not honest enough and frank enough with yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'm not performing well, but I'm still only year 2, or I'm still only month 2, whatever it is. And, I need to kind of do this and do this. I've got plenty of things to do on my journey before I can even look at what my P&L is doing. That's almost an irrelevance. I need to do this first and understand market sentiment and understand, how I can make my trades run a little bit longer, how I can understand my risk management, how can I improve this. You get the point. Anyway, right, account equity curve. You're overconfident as to where you think the equity curve can be. So let's say you've drawn down heavily, you're not humble enough to go, or not, humble's the wrong word, and let's backtrack on that. You're not self-aware enough to go, you know what I'm doing is wrong, I need to reassess, and I need to kind of regroup. You kind of look at your account equity curve and it's down and you're like, well, I can get that back and get that back. And you're overconfident in your ability to, get that back. And again, I've got stories of guys who, they've sold businesses, very successful careers of businesses, sold businesses for a lot of money, come into the trading career kind of in the retirement age, if you like, put some money in, lost it, put a little bit of money, then start putting more money in, lost that, and are not self-aware enough to go, right, I need to kind of either stop it, because what's the point in doing this now, or go, okay, I need to at least dial down losing this. And unfortunately, I know a guy who who basically lost all of the money. So all that money from building the business and selling it in the markets, and having to go back and working because he just blown what was a significant amount of money. But anyway, that's a real kind of negative story, but you know, it happens. So being understanding and really recognizing, you know, your account equity curve, it's not doing so well. Okay, let's not be overconfident about it. Let's just do it bit by bit by bit. Let's not really pretend about things. And just let's put going back to that story, guys, let's put a positive spin on it. I also know guys who retired, taken some money out from selling businesses or pension pots or whatever. They're doing very well. You know, they're doing okay. They're enjoying a bit of trading as well. They're enjoying their life as well, making a bit of extra cash in trading, and that suits them. So there's positives and negatives from both sides of the coin. Just don't want to put a negative out there and leave it with you. Right, final one is determination versus flexibility. There's a fine line, isn't there, between being determined and being flexible. If you're using the same strategy in the same market conditions that's not working, then you have to be aware enough to go, right, I need to be slightly flexible. Let me not be overconfident in my strategy, because it might just be the wrong strategy for the wrong market. The strategy might be sound, but you're using it at the wrong point in time. We've talked about this before. And being flexible enough to say, okay, listen, I know I can find a way to use this strategy, or I know I can find a way to trade this market. Let me take a step back and find that. So overconfidence, guys, very dangerous. We must have confidence in trading, we must believe in our ability, and I think most of us do, otherwise we wouldn't be here, wouldn't believe, because we know that the odds are against us if we look at the stats, and I've talked about that, and you guys on the channel are already kind of in the area of probably going to be some of the guys who are going to make it, because you're actively seeking education, you're actively kind of making notes, you're actively looking at this guy, this book, that book, doing some self-improvement, was the majority just punting away. That's by the by. The point is, guys, confidence, good, got to have that. Overconfidence, bad, dangerous. Find that sweet spot and it's perfect. See you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.